Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Roll20 Presents Dungeons and Dragons. Not Baldur's Gate anymore. It's time to descend into Avernus. It's fine. I think this will be the one. This is gonna be the episode. You get to go.
We have to go meet Wizard Traxagore.
Yeah, first. Yeah. Who I can't now that we talked about it.
He's gotta be a dragonborn, right?
I can't stop thinking about him like he's a giant lizard.
Yeah, he's got to be like a dragonborn.
Traxagore. That's a Forgotten Realms name if I've ever heard one.
Flynn Blackmar.
Yeah, exactly. So the plan today will be to, by way of, I believe, Griffin Express, you're going to travel to Traxagore's Tower and go to hell.
Flight paths.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be another ambush on the road.
You can't have a D&D adventure without 6 to 8 ambushes between wherever you are and wherever you're going.
So I hit him in the head till he was dead.
Yeah, you encounter 2d12 Zvarts. 2 days later, 2d12 Zvarts.
You encounter the worst random encounter in Baldur's Gate, which is 20 of those bandits in a circle around you when it starts.
Yeah, exactly. I always liked the weird random encounters. Fallout, I felt, did this like more than Baldur's Gate did, but where it would be like you're walking through the desert and you see a crashed Enterprise shuttle, or like Yeah. Fallout 1 was actually very silly. Fallout 2 was silly as well, and they had all these random encounters that were just like totally goofy stuff. They were just like, here's like, I think either 1 or 2 had the TARDIS, like you could encounter it and it was crashed and like there was like a corpse next to it and you could loot it.
Beautiful.
I mean, they kept that up a little bit with like the crashed UFOs and stuff. And
They forgot how to not take themselves seriously.
I mean, that's true.
Fallout and Warhammer both have had that same arc
where they're like silly and then really serious.
Yeah, there was a trait. Exactly. There was a trait in Fallout you could take as a character where you would not, for that level, it'd be like taking a feat, but you skip the feat, you get no mechanical bonus for it, but you have a higher chance of doing the random
in New
encounters.
Vegas, you can find like Indiana Jones in a fridge or something.
Wild Wasteland. I remember that. I remember it.
Yeah. There was the Blade Runner gun is in New Vegas as well. Yeah. That's right. The Bridge Keeper from Monty Python was in Fallout, and you had to answer the questions correctly. Yeah, it's weird. These games that used to have a sense of humor, but these are not funny times. These are serious times.
These are grim, dark times, okay?
Sure as fuck.
I revel in these times.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what better way to escape the hellish reality of being a person on the internet today than by going to hell, going to actual fantasy hell. So I think, and let's do a quick kind of recap because I want to make sure we're all kind of on the same page about what the hell is going on because it's been a couple of weeks. So let's do an NPC check. So Silvira has agreed that whenever you're ready, she will give you tickets on the Griffin Express to Traxagore, her wizard friend, who will then cast a spell to send you to hell to go and save Elturel, and all of that rhymed.
I did not take good enough notes last session.
Okay, but here's the question.
We didn't actually get the ticket part.
Here's the question, Adam. Do we deviate from getting on the Griffins right away to kill the shit out of Krieg first?
So that becomes the next question: is unfinished business in Candlekeep. So
that's the real question.
So Philaster has pretty much done his job. You could have another conversation with him or whatever, but he is definitely he's an Act 1 NPC where he's just like, you're going to hell? Not for me, thanks. I'm just gonna go back to Baldur's Gate.
Lauren has to go back and have her dinner date with that ogre librarian or whatever.
Right. So there is the ogre librarian. That is also like that. So you go to Traxagore. There's that'll be the final thing. Like, make sure you save your game before you do that. So you can go. There's the librarian you can talk to. The big question though is what is to be done with Thavius Krieg and Rhea, because Rhea and Thavius are like best buds. Also, there's a member of whatever weird organization of demon worship people that attacked you. One of them is like either in Candlekeep or on their way out of Candlekeep. Like, there's an APB out for a weird cultist.
I have a plan. I have a plan, friends.
Yeah.
We'll get Thavius Krieg and Rhea into the tavern, and then you distract Blue Jay. You distract Rhea by flirting with her. while I grab Thavius Krieg by the scruff of his stupid ass neck and throw him into the fireplace.
So here's the real thing. I feel like
tragic accident.
I feel like
it's weird. He fell on my sword 15 times and then rolled into the fire.
Weird. I did mention that we were going to ask before we got here, before we had the conversation with Sylvira, that we were going to ask somebody about Thavius Krieg's weird shadow.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, having seen Thavius Krieg,
right? So now we know that it's most likely.
You've read the contract. You know that he is.
We know he's a spooky boy.
So
he has
the
sworn
solution
his
is
soul
just
to
like
hell.
he gave his soul to hell.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so I just wanted to
just go confront him.
So in chat.
Oh yeah, we should confront.
NB Brit has a great plan. He accidentally brutally cut his own head off while shaving. Oh God!
Yeah, I feel like we just found out he actually signed a contract with the demon Zariel. Let's go confront him about it.
Yeah, I mean, confronting him is one thing. Like right now, Rhea believes that he is still the glorious savior of Elturel, and you now know the truth, right? That he bargained with the devil to buy himself a lifetime of status in exchange for the souls of the people of Elturel and the city itself.
Right. We got evidence. Let's see if we can get her as an NPC to stay with us. Before we kill Thavius Krieg, let her decide whether she wants to help by just being like, look at this. Make up your mind afterwards. If you're still too stupid to work it out, then we don't care about you anymore.
My real issue, just looking at it from a perspective of where we are and stuff, is if we start stabbing Thavius Krieg, the guards may be angry.
Yeah. Outright murder in Candlekeep is a place of law and order and books.
I feel like Philaster may be able to help us with that, because we'll be like, he was everything that you knew he was, and we'd like to stab him now.
Now remember, Philaster doesn't really care about Krieg. Philaster is just looking for the box because of Sylvira. So he has no personal reason to be like, yeah, let me help you murder him or whatever, but he does like you. So
no personal reason. He's a demon who sunk a city into the fucking depths of hell.
Got him everything he wanted.
I mean, people do trashy things all the time. Philaster, remember also, Philaster is not the squeaky clean individual he may pretend to be, right? You've seen him backstab some people. He's got some rogue levels. So yeah, I mean, you could go talk to him, but yeah, so that's certainly an option there. So I think that's all of our loose ends right now.
Yeah, that's our
so I'm basically turning it over to you whenever you want to. The end, you have one quest left in your main quest indicator, and that's up at the top of the tower. You meet Sylvira at the Griffin launch pad, and that will end this act, and then you can go from there. But anything before that is totally up to you.
How much health do you think Thavius Krieg has?
4.
We can just poison him.
I mean, if he's a commoner, then yes, yeah, 4.
But he's gonna have levels in something. He's like a clerk or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah,
no, he's a warlock.
So generally speaking, if you so his pact, that pact that he made, it didn't mention
warlocks in this game. What are they called again?
Yes, warlocks.
It is warlock. Right.
But there was no mention of an exchange of power, right? There was no in exchange for my own like he was a cleric certainly, but it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore.
Okay, so all we have to do is accidentally push him down a flight of stairs, then, and we'll be okay.
Right, scare him out a window.
From personal experience, I will tell you that is painful, and he might die.
Yeah, but you might have more than 4 hit points. I don't know if he does. Right?
I don't feel like any of us has got more than 4 hit points.
I mean, I don't know. Blue Jay, you fell down. It was less than 10 feet, so you took max 1d6 damage. So
it was, but I got the stair right into my lower back. So
right,
that was,
which is why you're still alive. If you had landed on the stair and it had dealt you 6 damage, you'd probably be dead. Because I know for a fact there's no way you have more than 10 constitution. Anyway,
I haven't been sick in a really long time.
Thavius and Rhea are in their they're in the room, right? That's where they left basically right away when you went to go and do the thing.
I feel like we need to confront.
So I have
a side quest worth some XP.
Oh, also we forgot to mention Gargoth, the hidden lord, who dwelleth within the shield.
Yeah.
Bryn's new friend. Gargoth is hype as shit to go to hell. He's like,
let's go, yeah.
Let's go to hell. It's gonna be
I'm sure that's
totally sick.
Okay, so here's our other option, friends, and I just want to present this option knowing that we probably won't take it, but we could just get on the Griffin and forget Rhea and Thavius ever existed and go to hell. Like, that is an option we can do, and just be like, I would rather avoid all of this unpleasantness, and you guys can just kiss and make up in your room forever.
No.
Did Sylvira, did she like make any hints that there would be consequences for Krieg for making this deal? Were they gonna like put him into a jail or something?
Here's the thing, you're in Candlekeep, right? So people in Candlekeep, if you brought them someone and you said, this person invented a spell that killed 6 million people, they would be like, cool, tell us all about it.
What's the spell?
Yeah, how does it work? That's insane. They wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's so many people. They'd be like, how did you do it? Like Sylvira and Philaster both were more interested in like the truth than they were in justice, right? This isn't a temple to Torm or Tyr or whatever. They're just like, I want to know. They need to know things. So
he's just, they would just let him go free? That doesn't make any sense.
No, if you want them to imprison Thavius Krieg, you got to make it seem like there has to be reasons for them to keep him here, right?
Who's to say he's not going to make another deal with the devil?
Just to say,
yeah, that's why we got to kill him.
I'm just saying, like, was there any, I don't remember if there was any discussion about the fact that like he can't just be allowed to continue to waltz around having sunk a city into the ground. Yeah.
So that becomes a question, and I don't know the legal codes of the Sword Coast by heart, but like, is it illegal to make... Is it a warlocks don't kill people, Eldritch Blast kills people situation where it's like...
Here's the real question.
Go ahead.
The speedrunner's inquiry. If we don't kill Thavius Krieg, like the whole game has wanted us to do so far, do we sequence break hell?
Right. I don't actually, personally, your goal is to prevent what happened to Elturel from happening to Baldur's Gate, and
I'm just like 100% sure that if we stab him, we'll see him again. Like,
well, you knew. This is the thing is that, like, Sathra, you would know this in character. Like, if he made a pact with the devil, and you're going to where this devil lives, and you kill him now, you are just going to run into him in hell again. Like, that is where he will end up because he's already sworn himself to Zariel's service.
I would know that, yeah.
Yeah. So if you of all people would know for sure that that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, I just feel like, especially with Bryn here, like, I can't imagine that we're just like, well, we'll just leave him to do whatever he wants, I guess.
No,
like,
Bryn wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said I was going to kill him. I'm just presenting possible options.
Yeah, I think Bryn probably won't be like, we need to go kill him, but she'll probably be like, we should go put an end to what he's done.
So could we basically, like, even if Sylvira is not going to like actually do anything, can we be like, okay, like, will you provide the proof of our claim, like, that he did this? Because we could take it to someone who would give justice or whatever. But she's the one that has the puzzle box and the like demon contract. We don't.
Yeah. I mean, she'll photocopy it for you or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, we could just say that and people could be like, you're lying. And we'll be like, no.
There is a moment. I mean, this is the thing is, like, even faced with like evidence, there is a chance that Rhea will ignore or reject your claims,
and
right?
she gets her head chopped off too. It's that simple.
Well, it's also not just Rhea though. Like, this is also like, if we took him to any sort of authority, like the
god you theoretically worship,
Flaming Fist are not going to do anything unless like we could show them that he was proof.
Well, and again, remember the Flaming Fists aren't a police force; they're a mercenary company. So if you drag him back to Baldur's Gate and you're like, this old man made a pact with the devil and killed everyone in Elturel, they'll be like, and I care why?
I mean, I think it's more likely that like you were saying, like a clergy of Tyr or Torm or whoever.
Yeah.
No.
Justice.
Street justice. We do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I
mean, that is the other thing is because like he is a person who has a narrative of institutional power in Elturel. Everybody knows that he's like a saint that saved the city. So
no, I'm not like, I don't imagine that we'll actually get there, but I think that's like I would say we get the proof, we go to him, we'd be like, we're turning you in, and then we'll probably kill him. But like, that's what my thought would
let's
be
let him
as to how, like,
escalate
to
the
approach
situation.
I'm totally
Make
on board
Rhea
with that
kill
because
him.
that's exactly what Bryn would do. She would be like, "We're gonna turn you in to a higher authority."
Well, and on
so
top
I
of
think
that,
and she stabs
and on
him.
top of that, Bryn, like you've been having like Gargoth is pretty A, direct versus what you're used to, and B, pretty one note, right? Gargoth is just like, let's go to hell, come on, let's go, what are you waiting for? Yeah. But
I have unfinished quest markers.
Yeah, but you're also having these moments where like you're sitting in the inn and you're trying to decide what to have for lunch, and it's like chicken soup, stew, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, and you're like, come on, I'm trying.
Justice for El Terrell.
Yeah.
So my thought is, while we're still in the hot ladies' quarters or whatever, we ask for like proof. Give us a copy pasta of
she'll make an etching.
And then, like, I would at least like say, like, we can't just allow. I will not suffer a witch to live. We cannot allow him to continue, without any kind of anything. Like, he gave up El Terrell to hell. We have to go like turn him into someone. And I probably would talk to Bryn about it. Because I don't know any kind of
like,
institutional like power that you would turn someone into in this area. I'm new here.
Probably like the clerics of Torm in Baldur's Gate. And there are any.
Sathra and Sosarova could be thinking about something else when I'm like talking.
I mean, during this entire conversation, Sathra's input is quickest solution, decapitation.
Like I could do it this way or that way.
But then all of the people of El Terrell won't resolve what happened to their kin.
All the people of El Terrell are in hell. We should go there if you care about that. Let's kill this guy.
Higher power. That gives me an idea. We tell him to come on the griffins with us. I ride with him. When we're up in the sky, push
give him
off.
the old Pablo Escobar. I see. Shove him out of the helicopter.
Like turns to Sosarova. I don't think you're strong enough for that.
At the very least,
push me. Push me. Try.
Nah. I don't like it.
I will say this: Thavius Krieg is stronger than Sosarova. Yes.
All right. So, plan is confront Krieg about all of this. We have the proof. Let's go and see what he has to say on his behalf. Yes.
Certainly. Yep. Perhaps he'll have some insight in helping us, or perhaps he'll throw his hand and we'll have done with it.
I'm just hoping in the face of inexorable proof, he throws the first punch and I kill him.
The hope, exactly. The hope is that he'll be like, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you damn PCs. And then, pull his face off and it's old man Krieg underneath and the whole thing. But
Bryn leans in like, I hope he does too.
Hey, do you reckon they got any dimensional shackles here so he can't like teleport to hell?
Well,
we're going
there. If he dies, we'll just meet him there again and kill him
awkward.
A second time.
Thavius is like, haha, suckers, and like smoke bombs out of there. And then 10 minutes later, you run into him at the gas station. And you're like, Krieg? He's like, oh God. I mean, you have lots of angles, but I think confronting him, and you now have a sheaf of paper with a rubbing of the brass plates, the infernal plates. The problem is that the plates, they're written in infernal, right?
I can speak infernal. I can read infernal.
Right. So I'm looking at a Japanese website right now, Blue Jay, and it says you owe me $20. It says right here. It's in Japanese though, you can't read it, but definitely it says you owe me $20.
There's plenty of people in Candlekeep that can speak.
Listen, this conversation has gone on too long. I want to cut off an old man's head.
Sathra just storms out of the room. So like, that's it. I'm gonna go chop down an old man.
Excuse me. Google Translate says that it says this.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
So I want to see how this is gonna go.
Anyway, yes, we've gone on too long. Let's confront Krieg so Sathra can murder him.
So you leave Silvira's tower, and where do you go to find Thavius?
They said they were in their room.
Weren't they like around in
that's the last place you'd seen them. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go there.
Okay. All right. So you go in, you go through the main room, and upstairs, and there's a door. Their door is shut.
I knock on the door.
Okay, all right. So there's like there's a moment, right? And then you hear boot steps coming towards the door, and the door opens, and you see Rhea, and behind Rhea in the room, you see Thavius Krieg.
Naked.
Oh, gross.
No.
Disgusting.
Oh, no.
Why'd you put that in my brain?
Krieg, we're here to talk to you about something important.
And Rhea gives you kind of she's trying to make an insight check on you to determine murderous intent.
I am a snake. I have no expression.
Make I mean, you're not trying to hide your murderous intent, are you?
Not really.
You're like, we need to talk to you about something.
She's like got her sword in her hand.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's been around you long enough to know that that's kind of how you are all the time. Like, Sathra always wants to murder somebody and chop off their head, as we've seen.
Well, it's because it's so much the easiest solution. It's like the Occam's razor of solving D&D problems.
That's what you should name the sword.
Yeah, Occam. It's an alternate name for your god. Okay, all right. So I think the thing is here is like she's trying to read the group, right, to get an idea of like, are you here to do bad things? Should she be on guard? She's doing that thing.
I feel like November's face is reading, you're not gonna like what we have to say. If Sathra's reading murder face, November's definitely not coming in here like, but she's like, oh, like
we're gonna have to have an uncomfortable conversation. Okay.
It's not you, it's Krieg.
And Bryn, what about you? Do you have just
Bryn is not in with murderous intent, but her expectations are low for the likelihood of a non-murderous outcome. So I think she's probably got her best cop face on.
Yeah, right. Trying to be like,
we really are just here to talk to you. And you should probably let us in because it will be easier for you. Right.
And if she's like, you need to go get a warrant, then you get all upset and become bad cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. It's not her. She doesn't own the property. So, okay. And then so Sorovo, are you just like, you got one of those?
Literally found a massive torch and a pitchfork.
Let's go. Like ready. Okay. I'll make a check for Ray. I'll make an insight check. Just because I think I need to figure whether she, like, what her kind of angle is going to be.
She slams the door and runs out the window. Krieg falls.
This is the thing. She might have that realization of, oh God, you're here to kill Thavius Krieg. It'd be like, get behind me, my lord. Or it could, or she could blow it. Just be like, oh, my friends are back.
I've seen her rolls. I'm not too worried.
She's not very insightful. Let's see how I do. I got 16. Okay. Oh. So she's on edge, and I don't think she lets you in the room. I think she sees you all gathered in the hall, and you're like, we need to talk to you, or we need to talk to Thavius. You don't even talk to her, right? You like lean past her, Sathra, and are like, hey, asshole, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
She scowls, and she says, what is this about?
It's about the contract that your friend back there made with Hell. The contract that we have seen and read and definitely condemns all of Elturel to its entirety of its existence to a plane of hell called Avernus under a horrible, infernal creature named Zariel.
Zariel, yes.
So she scowls, and immediately her response is denial, right? She says,
you know the big hole?
She says to you, she's like, no, that's impossible. You're lying. And Krieg behind her says like, now, dear. And he stands up and he comes over slowly and he says, I'm sure your friends are just confused. Why don't you all come inside and we'll talk about this?
I Eldritch Blast Krieg.
Okay. Do you just need, it's an attack roll, right?
It's an attack roll.
Okay. So he does have some cover from Rhea.
That's
but that's fine. Okay. It's like a reverse Palpatining. Okay. So make
He's just going like, come into my trap, you dorks. And I'm like, fuck you, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to use the inspiration I've been holding on to.
All right. Oh yeah, no problem. You get a 24. Yep, you Eldritch Blast him. Okay.
And then 10 force damage, the maximum amount I can do.
Okay, all right. So he obviously like snarls in pain when you blast him in the chest with your Eldritch Blast. and he staggers back, but he's not dead.
No, not a commoner.
Chat just reminded me of the Danny DeVito meme. Anyway, I started blast.
So he's just like, and like staggers back. Rhea shouts and like draws her sword, and I guess everybody rolls initiative.
Rhea, no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
Okay, so I don't have my thing to click.
Yeah. Let me bring you.
Listen, last time I entered a room threateningly, entered a room menacingly with my sword drawn, I got mauled by imps. I'm not doing that again.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump back here. There you go. So everybody's token is on this page. Let me grab Rhea.
Well, Bryn's going late.
Okay. And
like
then
the first time I've had a not terrible initiative.
Speed.
let me roll for old Tavius here.
Honestly, I'm thinking non-lethaling Rhea to non-lethal.
Yeah, I was gonna put it to sleep.
Yeah.
Bryn's probably gonna try and get her to stand down, but you know.
Yeah, same.
Reyes.
I'm gonna be like, no, don't.
Okay, all right. So you begin the battle with the like surprise, blam. So yeah, Thavius staggers back, his demonic shadow writhing and squirming. So Sorovo, you are next.
My non-lethal spell. I realize we're in a room, and it'll target whoever's got the least health, so it's not really super.
Yeah, it's not very helpful.
So I'll just the old ding dong of death.
Yes, the old ding
Ding
dong.
dong.
Oh, ding dong!
Actually, no, I don't. I don't even want to like
deadly
leave this.
ding dong.
Yikes.
God.
I don't want to leave
What
this to
did I
chance. I'm just
write?
gonna.
I cast ding dong doom. All right.
We're gonna do magic missile. We're just gonna kill him with magic
Ding
missile.
Dong Doom sounds like a 80s comic book villain.
No, ding dong doom is when you go to someone's house, you knock on the door, when they open it, you decapitate them.
Love it.
Uh,
Pew, 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 pew. That's too many.
Whoa.
That was too many.
it's not a Gatling gun, Dave.
Sure
Okay.
is. 9, 14, 16 points of damage.
On Thavius?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. More shouting and surprise as he's magically
Was he not
pummeled.
dead?
Yeah. Not dead yet.
Whatever.
He's been around for like 100 years.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you like.
Tucker should have some
Knock,
some
knock.
Either had 1 HP or a million.
Open up the
so,
door.
you
It's
know.
real. Okay. So Thavius, who is like behind Rhea, Thavius shouts to Rhea, "Protect me!" and runs over to the window and pulls the window open.
Oh my God, not
For
again.
fuck's sake.
And he that's all he has time for. I think he runs over to the window. I'm gonna make it like an athletics check to see. He like starts climbing out onto the like trestle outside.
Oh my God, please have
I
him
really
fall
hope
to
he
death.
dies. That'd be so good.
Jumps off.
No, he's good. So he shifts his weight over the windowsill and starts like trying to climb down the side of the outside of the building. So Sathra, it is your turn. Rhea is filling the door. She's blocking the door.
Can I still see Krieg?
No, he is out of line of sight now.
Ugh.
I
should. Oh, I Misty Step past her. I Misty Step past her onto like the window ledge.
Okay.
And then I fucking chop Krieg in the
Yeah, so Krieg.
He's like looking up at me like this, and then I just great sword down.
Yeah, he's hanging, kind of like hanging over the edge. He's about to like drop himself to the ground. He looks up, and then this like greenish swirl of smoke appears.
It's like the Nightcrawler move,
Yes,
but green
but
and
green.
black. Rather
And I
than-
imagine that your eyes are the last thing to disappear and the first thing to
Definitely, yeah.
appear. So like you turn into smoke, your eyes are just glowing, and then they vanish, and then these glowing eyes and smoke swirls around it. Boom, you appear there. Rhea screams. She turns around like, no, and like thrusts an arm out like as if she's turning to come and get you. And now you can
Let's
go.
see if I can hit him and then make him fall.
He has disadvantage, or you have advantage against him because he's helpless or he's hanging off the thing. So yeah, go ahead and take advantage on your attack.
Drop him.
22.
Give him a chop. Yep, you hit him.
15 damage.
You cut his head off.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
Yes.
the funny thing is that at least initially his body like he clings extra hard to, like, all of his muscles like tighten. He clings to the thing. You chop his head off. His head falls onto the street, lands in the mud, and his body just hangs there by its arms for a few minutes until, like, eventually the bulk of it, I think, it'll break the roof. But yeah, Rhea screams.
The trestle,
yeah, Rhea screams, like, and then November, it's your turn.
I think I'm gonna, like, does she do the, like, scream and, like, go to, like, move forward towards Sathra, or it just I want to hold her back, maybe, like, attempt to grapple, I guess.
Yeah, you want to just grab her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want her, and while I'm doing this, I was like, you might not believe it, but we saw his contract with the devil, with this demon. Like,
yeah, we got it.
He's not a good person.
Yeah, she is not listening right now,
So,
right? Like,
but I'm also attempting a grapple. So what is that?
Yeah, so it's an attack roll.
Attack roll?
Yeah.
No, it's athletics versus.
Athletics.
It's an attack roll to grab her, and she rolls athletics to give you the number.
Yes,
Yeah.
Athletics
So
versus athletics or acrobatics.
Let me see. It's an attack roll, but I think you use your hold on. Let me get it.
It's an attack action, but it's
an attack action,
a skill
yes.
check. Just skill check rather than an attack. Sure of it.
Let me see. Grapple rules. You're the best.
Special melee attack.
I mean, if I do attack, do I have my proficiencies? Do I, like, use
Strength athletic check contested by the target's strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics. Target chooses the ability to use. Succeed
Right, you make a grapple check instead of an attack roll, but it's an attack action.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do an athletics check.
Yeah. So we're both right. So what I was saying is that you can do it a number of times, like, equal to your attack. It takes up one of your attacks, but when you make the roll, you're using athletics.
Okay.
Yeah. So just click your athletics.
It's not going to be good, but I will try.
Do you want a 14?
I don't know. I only have a plus one.
Plus?
So it's a question of whether or not I'm going to go before her, but that's also the thing that Bryn will try.
You won't. Yeah, Rhea will go next.
I feel like I'll try to get higher than a 14, just because I think Rhea could get higher than a 14.
She's going to roll a 7, actually. Wait, I could just cheat. Yeah, I could just be like, you get 14.
Yeah,
she gets a 7.
You don't have to get permission. You just change reality.
Yeah. If you want to do that, like you saw or whatever, then that would definitely work. I just feel like, I want to roll it to see what I would have gotten.
Just
We're
for
choosing
fun.
to use the 14.
Okay, you're using you have a 15 and
All right,
she gets a 7. Okay.
I got a 15. Okay. So it's like,
it's
it was
exactly
about
the same. It's exactly the same because you rolled a 14.
Everything as I foresaw.
I rolled a 14. Yeah. It's exactly the same. Wow.
So that's good because she would have gotten 16. So she would have.
But she got a 7.
But she got 7 instead. Okay. So you grab her. Now she can't move. And
I'm just like, Rhea, you have to calm down. He's not who you thought he was. And I'm just going on. If she's listening or not, it doesn't matter.
No, she's. I mean, now she sees that Sathra is covered in blood, and she's just like screaming, like, "No, what have you done?" Etc. Etc. Right?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, so she's gonna try to. She's not gonna try to break free. She's gonna try to
let Sathra enjoy things. Right
hit
now.
you with her sword. November.
Cool.
What's your armor class?
I think it's like 13.
I assume I'm standing there.
Yeah, it's 13.
So I'm going to pose a disadvantage onto it.
It still hits me.
She's in the door. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right, because you're standing next to her. And so she's
there. I would have been right next to
yeah, it still hits me though.
Okay. Yeah. So Bryn, you try to get in there. Maybe the door blocks you. She pushes you aside, grabs her sword, and then just hits November with it, screaming like, "Get off me. Let me go. What have you done?" She deals you 14 slashing damage. November.
How dare you?
I know now she hits people.
Right.
Ow.
Yep. And that's her turn. She's still grappled, just screaming, trying to get free. Bryn, what are you doing?
The doorway is very full, but
November
just got stabbed, so she's gonna try and disarm.
Yeah, it would be a stab with a longsword. Is it a stab or is it a slash?
It's slashing damage.
In a doorway, it's definitely a stab.
That's true.
Bryn's gonna attempt to disarm Rhea.
Okay. Yeah, because like the walls are like that, and then Sathra's over here somewhere, and Bryn, you're kind of there.
She was standing in the doorway to try and get in
There.
between us, and I like grabbed her in the doorway.
Like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was grappled, not restrained. Grapple doesn't involve. All grapple does is they can't move.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't even know how you like. I don't think you can actually like
I
restrain.
think you can take
someone.
another action while they're grappled to restrain them.
I don't know. Maybe.
But that may be a 3.5 thing.
Yeah, it's not actually in here. You can move them and they can escape, but you can't actually like turn someone into the restrained condition just by making athletics rolls.
To disarm.
You want to try to disarm? Okay.
I would like to disarm.
All right. So that's another weird rule. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, and
not
there's a
to kill
feat
people
that makes
so
you better
hard.
at that. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. So disarm, I think, works the same way. There's two different disarm rules. There's the like normal one and the one with the feet. So let me see
Probably.
if I can find the.
Yeah, I was looking it up as well. I can't find it right now.
Yeah, that's the superiority die one. There's one in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which is why I'm looking on my
Yeah.
iPad instead of on Roll20. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find that rule. Which is here we go. Combat options. Yeah, disarm. Okay, so you make an attack roll contested by their athletics. If you win, it causes no damage, but they drop the item. Okay, so
Awesome.
you attack her armor class, and if you hit, instead of doing damage, you hit her in the wrist or whatever, so she has to drop it. Okay. All right, so make that attack
I'm
first.
trying to get her to drop her longsword. The 20.
Nice. Yes, you hit.
I'll do.
Okay. Just smack
Okay,
it, drop it on the ground,
so
and then probably
now
just like
she has to make an athletics check
try and kick it. if I
to
can.
oppose. She gets
Don't
a
do it.
21. So she holds onto the sword. You knock her wrist aside, but I think you catch her bracer or whatever, and she can't. Yeah, she doesn't drop the weapon. Anything else, Bran?
Just probably yelling at her to listen to us, and it's far too late.
Okay. So Sorovo?
Is there feasibly any way I can only hit Rhea with the grapple? No.
Yeah, no, they're snuggling. It's not possible from here. Yeah. Rhea, you better be asleep when it's Sathra's turn. I swear to God, when Sathra gets home.
God.
When she turns around from admiring her handiwork out the window, covered in Thavius's blood, it's gonna be hell to pay.
Hell to pay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
I don't actually have anything that helps here.
If you did sleep, I would probably fall asleep before she did. Because
I'll try and poison her. I'll try and poison her with the beam of barfing.
Oh no, November, look out.
don't. So gross.
Okay. All
Because
right.
if she's poisoned, you'll be able to like knock her.
Should be a
stuff with the
disadvantage, yeah.
Thingy bobs. Yeah. Zapper. Pew!
Okay.
So 13 enough.
No, you miss.
God's sake. What a mess. What a mess.
It really
There's
is
no,
though.
There's like no stakes. It's just like
Well, she's
what she
she's
can do
freaking
before.
out, right? She's like
I feel
screaming
like
because you
this is
just
where-
killed her best friend.
I feel like this is where suggestion is gonna work its magic.
Oh yeah, suggestion's a good idea.
So Sathra, speaking of which, so you look up from outside.
So-
you look through the window, the
so
now open window.
I feel like Sathra turns around. She's just like covered in Thavius Krieg's like
Yeah,
splattered
just
blood.
arterial spray.
And like she walks back through the room towards Rhea.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows her, like the three of you who've been around her a whole bunch, there is like a vibrating, gleeful energy to her, like in a way that is like not really super obvious because she's not very emotionful. But she tries to make eye contact with Rhea, and then suggests to her to drop her weapon. Like, it is time to stop fighting. Drop your weapon.
Totally reasonable suggestion. Let's see if it works.
So you need a wisdom save, DC 15.
Okay. All right.
I love how it says concentration.
Yes.
All right. So she fails. So there is the sound of her sword dropping to the ground. And then November, what are you going to do?
I think I'm still holding her. I'm still grappling her.
Yeah.
And did she also stop like screaming and crying and doing all that stuff? Or is she...
No. She's still very upset.
The only thing I asked her to do was drop her weapon.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then I'm continuing to grapple her, and I'm probably just like, this is weird. I'm like behind her or in front of her, or like, how is she facing me? She was looking towards Sathra?
She was facing you, and now she's turned. You've got her kind of by the side, so you like have one arm like maybe like twisted, but like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. She's grappled. She can't move, so it's up to you how you want that to look.
Right. So she's probably like straining towards Sathra, because Sathra was looking her in the eye. And I'm probably just making like hushing noises that I would make for like, I don't know, like a horse or a dog that was caught in a trap. And I'm trying to be like, no, you have to calm down so we can get your foot out of this trap. Like, shh, like, please.
I was gonna say it's that, or you crouch down slightly, get her on the waist, and then just suplex her into the wall.
No, I'm doing the same noises that I would make if like an animal got its foot caught in a trap. So like you have to calm down so that we can make things better for you. Like shh.
Okay. Bambi just saw his mother die.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion.
Animal handling.
17.
She's not an animal. But
I was gonna say like it's for November. It comes across as like related.
So okay, so if she had her sword in her hand still, and this is a thing, right? People act different when they have weapons in their hands, right?
Oh,
you have a certain attitude of like, I could chop off anybody's head I want to if you're carrying a sword around. But once the sword is out of her hand and you're like, just shut up, shut it up. Her like anger and like her combat stuff kind of like fails her, and instead she just starts like sobbing and like she goes from, I don't know what the stages of grief are, but she's in the one where you just kind of turn into a pile of mush. And so she just starts weeping, and like her legs give out, and she keeps saying like, why did you do that? Like just like she's I
take like more of her weight from her when she like collapses, and I'd probably try and like turn her away from the room and like into the hallway. Like, let's go where you can't see all of this blood and stuff. And
Bryn will like take her other arm and not unless she makes a move to like run or grab the weapon, it's like a sort of slow guiding into their room. And then she kind of makes eyes at Sathra being like, finish up whatever you need to do.
So outside,
but someone's probably going to notice the body.
Outside, a bunch of monks have gathered around the headless body of Thavius Krieg that is laying in the street.
I'll head downstairs and feel this one.
And they look up, and in the gutter, like lodged in the gutter, we see Thavius's head, and his eyes are open like, and he's like up to his chin in rainwater.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to be useful for calming down Rhea, so I'm just going to go deal with the bodies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
So downstairs there are a bunch of monks gathering who are like, oh no, a headless body, what's going on? I say, so someone get the guards. Yeah, so there's gawkers. There's a bunch of gawkers standing around. All right, so obviously we don't need to track initiative anymore. You drag Rhea into your room.
Yeah, just the one that's not full of the bloody remnants of her best friend.
Okay.
And once she like maybe she doesn't stop sobbing, we're just like, okay, like maybe just sleep for a little bit. But if she does, it's very much a conversation of like, you need to hear this.
No,
like,
she's in shock.
Calmly.
She's fully in shock. She's just like,
Then I'll probably just stay by her and make sure she doesn't go run off. Yeah. There's the blanket, the metallic blanket wrapped around her. Yeah. But yeah, then I'll just stay by her and be like, I'll watch her, like do whatever.
Bryn's not good with people with feelings, and so she sort of stands there awkwardly for a while, and then like goes and gets a cup of tea and like brings it back on a tray.
Just like, you know, it's like the thing is from her perspective. Think about it like Saving Private Ryan, except at the end of the movie, Tom Hanks shoots Private Ryan in the face. Like, hey, we found him. Yep. Blam! And she's just like, what? Oh, no.
No. There's the montage of like, here's some tea, here's a blanket, calm down. Oh, you can't hear this yet? Okay, baby, go to bed. And then when you wake up, can you listen to the nope? Okay. I'll just hang out. There's a dog. Nulf comes up and like lays next to her on the bed.
Okay, yeah. So she's
puts his little nose under her hand.
She doesn't fight. But she just curls up into a little ball and just like sobs in panic and fear,
You know,
and like
this
big
would
messy
be-
snotty hiccuping.
This would be really upsetting if she wasn't crying about someone who literally sunk a city into the ground.
Yeah. She's just like, oh no, Hitler. You're like, I'm sorry you're sad, but like,
I really want you to get to the point where we can explain to you why this reaction is completely unnecessary.
yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, and Bryn also probably about us at some point, like, yeah, so her soul is also bound to hell. Might need to let her
what?
know that too.
Oh, you mean, oh, right.
So you're having this conversation in the hallway, like,
Yeah.
No, maybe when she finally like passes out and she's doing like snore sobs.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, I don't think she just sleeps, but she's just like a wreck, right? So
Right. I'll be like, no, you watch her. We're gonna go in the hallway.
Okay, all right. So yeah, who's gonna deal with the whole headless corpse problem?
I got it.
Okay, all right. So Sathra, you head downstairs. You see that ogre with the fancy hat. Sort of like there's a bunch of people in the main room, and you see the ogre starting to get up, like they were coming upstairs to investigate.
I just like put a hand up towards him. I'm still covered in Krieg's blood. And go like,
It's dealt with. I'm dealing with the rest. Just sit down, relax.
and like I just moved past him.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, well, I was all right. And so you go outside and you arrive just as like some of the Candlekeep guards kind of come up, and there's all these monks gathered around like, oh my, and like examining the corpse. And there's still the severed head stuck in the gutter of the second floor. And you see the guards, and one of them says to you, all right, what's going on here?
It's actually very simple. This man sold the souls of, well, thousands of people to hell, and sunk an entire city into the ground. So I thought the best course of action was that he not be able to do that a second time, here or anywhere else.
Is that true? Yes, Your Honor. This man has no dick. So yeah, you make a persuasion check.
Alrighty then. Persuasion. Let's take a look. See if I'm any good at that. I'm not terrible. 7.
Okay, so the guard takes a step forward, and he says, "That's a mighty heavy accusation, little lady. I think you're gonna need to come with me." And he takes another, like he's walking towards you, like, put.
Again, I hold up my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I go,
Silvira will clear this up for you. She has all the evidence that you're going to need.
And that's when you hear Philaster, who has been in the crowd. You hear him say, right, yes. And he steps out in front of you, and he points at himself, and he says, I can speak for this unfortunate situation. It's true. The man who's recently been robbed of his head what was indeed a demon worshiper and a cause of all kinds of difficulties, and we can all work this out. Silvira will speak. Come with me. And I think that he basically says, like, let's all just go to the, I guess there'd be like a central like hall where they keep people that have like done bad things and like work it out.
Someone might need to
I like point up at the head in the gutter. Like,
Yeah,
just
you look
just
over it.
mage hand.
So you see a monk, right? And he walks up and he comes in from off screen and he's wearing a monk's robe, but he has a big bristly mustache and he's pulling a mop in a bucket. And he looks up and he's like, don't worry, I got it. And he takes the mop out and starts poking at the head in the gutter to try to like dislodge it. And the guards are like, all right, everybody, get back to your studies. Nothing to see here, and kind of like disperses the crowd. Yeah, they all start to disperse. Some of the monks stay to like clean up, but yeah. So yeah, for you, Sathra, it is annoying, but like you get taken to, I guess they have like a little jail probably, because if they have guards, they have to have somewhere to keep people.
Sathra's more than happy to comply because murdered the shit out of that guy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean,
So I think eventually what ends up happening is that, yeah, like Silvira comes down and explains and shows everybody the plates, and it's like, yeah, he was a demon guy. We were hoping to capture him, but sometimes these things happen. It's basically self-defense, right, Sathra?
We confronted him with the evidence. He became belligerent, and I became violent.
Yes, belligerent.
yeah, his statement of now, let's all calm down. You must be confused. Come and sit in my. That was enough.
Exactly. He tried to lure us into his stupid trap.
Yeah.
So eventually the guards they're like, okay, like this is fine. Like you shouldn't have done that. Please don't decapitate people. You need to leave Candlekeep as soon as possible. We don't like your kind here.
It's okay. We're headed to hell.
Murderers. But
wait a second. So they're fine with Krieg sticking around, but Sathra.
well, they didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't know until just now that he was a bad guy.
He didn't break any rules.
That's
You
right.
just
You're allowed
said
to
that
worship demons.
You just said that
Candlekeep.
Candlekeep wouldn't have done shit about
No,
shit.
no, but this is the thing: is like chopping someone's head off is a crime.
That's bad.
Betraying an entire city and having a demon
It's
like
treason,
kill everyone.
so it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, it's more
to, like,
complicated.
discern.
Yeah.
Whereas
Plus,
the evidence of my head cutting off is like right
plus Krieg was technically the like president of Elturel. He could do whatever he wants. The whole country just belongs to him. So, yeah. So there's like, listen, there was a way to do this and there was a way not to do this, and you did it the bad way. But I understand why, and maybe you shouldn't have. But we're not gonna hold you. But you have to get out of here. You have to leave.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah,
ready
and Silvera's
anyway.
like they were just on their way out. So yeah, so they'll take the body away and deal with it.
I'll gather my things and be gone very shortly.
Okay. So meanwhile, back in the other room, what's going on with Rhea and stuff? Are you just gonna ditch her and be like, well, we killed him, we don't need to explain it?
No, I would like to try to like explain, but if she's not gonna calm down, then I can't.
I mean, it'll take her some time. She just had like the person that she believed in most get his head cut off. And so she's kind of like going through some stuff. She's going to need like probably a lot of counseling before she can get over it.
I'm a licensed therapist in Icewind Dale.
You're a licensed dog therapist, not a person therapist.
I've trained so many emotional support animals, I'll have you know.
Rhea, sit, lie down. Good girl, have a treat. So yeah, she eventually will like fall asleep or at least go into a state of like, she's not going to leave. She's distraught. So
Right. Basically, like when she wakes up, like we'll pack to go and whatever because we have to, but like I'm just gonna be like, here's the situation. We have like the pact that Krieg made with a demon. We are going into hell to try and get Elturel back. If like, I mean, he was important to you, but he also took your entire city into hell, and if you want to help with that, I don't know, then maybe, but if you don't, I understand.
She's full on channeling like Luke Skywalker when he finds out that Vader is his dad. Like she's just like, that's impossible. Like he was a saint. He loved Elturel more than anything. She doesn't believe
you
it.
How to read Infernal so that you'll understand me, then I will.
Sathra, cut his hand off. That will help.
I already cut his head off.
No, cut
her
hand off. Okay, yeah.
Cut her hand off and throw it in a hole.
Please just hold your arm out like this.
Yeah, it's very hard. Oops, sorry. It's very hard because I think that you do have proof, but she has no reason to believe, like it's coming from you, right? The people
I've
who
never
killed.
lied to her.
Yeah, no, I know,
Crush your
but
feelings, Rhea. You know it to be true.
she sees all of you like.
I
Yeah,
very clearly do not allow Sathra in the room.
What's interesting is that
All right,
Sathra.
I don't want to talk to her.
No, I don't want her to be presented with this person that like she'll just go into a rage.
You could theoretically use, and this we've talked about this about suggestion before as a therapeutic tool. You could use suggestion on her again to be like, face the facts, Rhea. You know it to be true, right?
Could.
Like, you can actually fucking Jedi mind trick her.
Jedi mind tricking her well again.
Yeah.
How long does that last?
It only lasts an hour, or not an hour. It lasts 8 hours.
8 hours, but also like it's not like the
you don't
things
forget
that you don't forget.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't feel like unless Sathra would be like, I could just make her believe it. I don't feel like I would be inviting Sathra into the room of this person that's really mad at her.
Oh, for sure.
I would like to try and be like, hey, like all of your buds that sank into the depths of hell could really use your help coming to be not in the depths of hell. But if she's not gonna, like, I would like to make a roll of persuasion, like to just be like, hey,
I think
this is what's up. Like,
yeah, it's tough, right? Because we know in the real world, we know that presenting people with facts doesn't change their mind about things. Like, it just doesn't work. So even if you say to her, like, look, here's the contract. I'm telling you what it says. She's going to be like, no, you're lying to me. You're trying to trick me.
We're talking about the real world now. I just teleported past her and cut her.
Well, no, but this is what I mean is that this game has, if you want to like mechanically do things, you can, but the game doesn't have, persuasion is not appropriate for this situation because.
Sathra's standing in the hallway and she says, I could kill someone in the street and people would still vote for me. I could kill Krieg in the street. And everyone's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so like I get what you're trying to say, November, but it's like you don't. I'll come at it from an apocalypse world perspective. You don't have the requisite fictional positioning to make the move you're trying to make. You don't have the like leverage.
Does the game then just assume that Rhea will not ever come into Avernus if we kill Krieg?
It has nothing to say about that. So I'm saying that right now, mundanely saying right in this moment, because she just saw her like the glorious best person she knows get his head cut off after he spent like an hour telling her like, I don't feel safe here. Like those people they're unhinged. We need to get out of here. We can't do any help from Candlekeep. Like he is poisoning her against you. And then you came in and proved him right. Right. You tried to attack Emperor Palpatine and now Vader is like, see, he was right. You're all crazy. So it's going to take more than just talking to shake her out of that. She will not believe you because she sees Bryn, November, Sosrovo, and Sathra all as one person. The
so
people
neither
who
talking
killed.
nor proof nor.
Well, you don't. In her eyes, you don't have any proof. You have some gibberish on a piece of paper, and definitely not. Yeah, definitely not talking. I'm not trying to make it more difficult for you on purpose, like to thwart you, but like from her perspective, there's nothing you can say that'll change her mind.
So mechanically, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
I can suggestion her into being better, and then maybe she'll recover, and we can take her. Or
I just like the game has been
her because who cares?
Well, the game has been pretty difficult, and I just feel like I don't know. Like I've maybe heard that Howl's more like
she's a decent fighter, and there is some tactical value in having her.
I would like to have more, combatants on our side than less, but like I feel like I'm being stymied because we killed Krieg.
I mean, like, you're not being stymied. You just killed somebody that was important to her.
Okay.
In front of her, like a bunch of maniacs,
remember her,
which is
like,
fine. But
doubts.
There was a moment of doubt that was long. It was long enough ago that she filed it away, but it's still valid. She still does have that, right? Like you can build a pretty good case, just not right now, because like I said, she's in shock.
Well, yeah, but we have to leave, so there's not another opportunity.
That's right. So you have to
either charm person on her.
You have to either force her to do it and work on her again later, or be like, this is the real world, honey. Peace. And then roll out. In which case, she goes out and gets herself a leather mask and a bat costume.
I mean, I wanted to try, and there's not an opportunity, so.
And that's the thing, is what I'm saying is there are no mundane means. I'm telling you the thing you would require, and that's magic or time. You got to pick one or the other, or neither.
Like, I don't think I would be like, go convince her to do it like against her will. Like
Sure.
I mean, yeah, and that's fair.
So,
Sathra's not going to think about it on her own. She's like, I achieved my objective.
Yeah. So Sathra, you come back from your brief legal discussion, and you've been ordered to like vacate Candlekeep. So you come back.
So I like get a meeting with the rest of the group here.
Yeah. I think you're all in your room. And she's being watched by the dog, and she's asleep.
and say, so they want us to leave, which I assume is what we were doing anyway, so it didn't...
That sounds like we should make our way to the Griffin, whatever that is.
Traxigor or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
How'd it go with her?
She spent most of the day sobbing. I believe she's in what we would refer to as denial.
Ah, yes. Well, not everyone can see things clearly.
I had hoped that she would want to help us avenge, well, every person she ever knew, but it seems like...
I think we might be the source of her desire for vengeance now.
You know, sometimes people don't know what's best for them.
Oh, she certainly doesn't.
And you have to enforce those things and make sure that they do know what's best for them. And they'll come around given enough time, but we can't sit here and wait for her to sob it out because we have to leave or the guards will be angry.
You just tell her with magic to do it.
I was getting... I have one option. Oh. And that option is I can try and convince her that we are actually trying to save her.
I don't think that she would like to hear anything I tried to tell her from your lips more.
My lips aren't going to be the convincing part.
I grab my leg. I'm like, this part? This part? No, this part?
She means and makes like spooky hands magic.
In the same
that part.
In the same way that I made her drop her sword, I can make her forget Krieg for 8 hours and we can move her somewhere else.
Well, she's bound to hell as much as the rest of the city is, so it is in her best interests.
Wait, so would she just like poof into hell? Like, how does that work?
It is unclear why she is not currently in hell.
Because she wasn't in Elturel when it sunk. But when she dies, that soul is bound to a contract, and contracts are irreversible.
Bryn, you see this thought pass through her head is like, well, if we kill her, she'll end up in hell, and then we'll just meet her there. And she does not say it out loud because she knows for a fact Sethra will walk into the room and just cut her head.
Oh, good idea!
She'll feel a lot better if she meets you the second time and she's an imp or a lemure.
Her soul is bound to hell. It is certainly within her interest to prevent it from winding up there permanently.
I can't determine if it will actually work or whether she'll resist, but I can try if that's what we want to do.
I mean...
You're the ones who care about her. I'd rather see her drown in a gutter somewhere, but, you know, she's been frustrated.
We cut back to the janitor, like, trying to jam the head, and he's, like, rolled it over face down. There's this water pouring down out of his face.
Like,
oh, God's gonna get it. Like, waving off crows. Get away from there.
She's been nothing but a frustration, personally.
If we had all the time in the world, I would let her come to terms with this in her own way.
I mean, if we were going to magically convince anyone to come with us into hell, I'd vote Silvira, but I doubt that would work.
I don't like Silvira is less prone to being suggested.
The real magic.
She's also a nerd. Why would we want to bring a nerd with us into hell? We need another sword. She gestures at the nerd.
The look on Sosorobo's face, like hidden under the hat.
Sosorobo.
Well, I mean,
we already have one of those. You're very helpful. Thank you, Sosorobo.
Seemed quite powerful to me. Oh.
The real magic of the particular situation involving this lady is that if she forgets for a while, she might realize it's not as important as it all seems. And she might listen to reason while she is not blubbering. Really, it's just your opening to convince her.
It's worth a try.
If you explain it like that, I'll be like, you know, I've never used suggestion as a therapeutic tool before, but it sounds pretty interesting.
Wonderful. I'm glad we're on the same page. Sathra just leaves.
Okay, where do you go, Sathra?
To the room where Rhea is.
Cool. So you just like kick the door open.
And the door is unlocked.
Yeah, so Rhea just like leaps up in fear when you open the door.
It's quieter than that. Like, I open the door. I like, if she's sleeping, because that's what you said.
Yeah, she's resting. She hears the door open and she like turns over and she sees you, and you see on her face like panic, right? Like, oh God, where's my sword?
I walk into the room and like I guess I don't want to give her a chance to panic and start swinging a weapon or anything.
Yeah, there aren't any, but
Oh yeah, we definitely didn't leave her with her sword.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna hit her with the suggestion again. I hit her with the suggestion again. I'm gonna say, you need to calm down and consider the facts about Thavius Krieg.
It's a good suggestion. Because she hasn't done that yet. She just assumed that you're all a bunch of lying jerks. All right, what's the DC?
DC 15.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
She gets a 3. She gets a 3. Okay, so you see her like grab her head as you work your evil magic, and she blinks a couple of times. You see the faint green light like fading in her eyes.
I feel like as she's sort of recovering, Sathra also casts Prestidigitation like on herself to like clear all the blood off.
All the blood fades. Yeah. Okay. So she doesn't say anything. She doesn't do anything. She just sits there, like staring at the floor.
She's considering some facts.
Yeah.
I take her by the shoulder and I like try and like stand her up and like move her.
Yeah.
I don't stop her from considering the facts, but I do move her with us, right? And I bring her to the other room where the three of you are, and go, I think she is considering the facts. And I like push her towards November. Like, I do not want to touch her anymore.
Yeah, you deal with her now.
Yeah. And then I say, Griffins, hell, let's go. I turn.
Right. There's very much more like, if she seems open to conversation, try and like gently be like, I know this is hard to accept, but like literally all of these people saw the demonic contract. It's kind of awful, but
so the
we're
evidence
going to try and save Elturel.
The evidence that she has to consider is Thavius's weird shadow, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has to consider that he didn't help during the fight, even though he's supposed to be
the
like
best,
a
most
brave,
awesome.
a brave dude and a high level cleric. So he didn't do that. She has to consider her own feelings about Thavius versus
bias,
reality.
Her own bias versus reality.
This is how suggestion works to change someone's mind, because you're like, you're not even trying to listen. So all I want you to do is just look at the facts we are presenting. Now she doesn't have.
It's hypnotism.
It is. She doesn't exactly. She doesn't have the facts about the contract except what you said. But she does have to consider, why would you lie about that? And why would you kill him now instead of
when
all the way back at the beginning?
Like,
you haven't attacked him yet. Yeah.
So since I didn't get a chance to say it before while everybody else was doing the stuff, I cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay.
Took the copy of the contract and I transcribed it into Common so she can read it.
Okay. Sure.
So she has the physical thing. She can decide if she believes me or not. I'm just like,
yep.
There you go.
No, totally. And that's another thing too, right? Like there's a difference psychologically. There's a difference between having someone tell you a fact and reading that fact on a piece of paper, even if you know the person wrote that piece of paper, right? Like if you read a Wikipedia article and you're like, yeah, Stanley Kubrick definitely faked the moon landing, you're going to think that's your idea. Even if the same person who wrote that Wikipedia article tells you in real life, yeah, the moon landing was fake, and you're like, bullshit, you're a liar, right? It won't make a difference, but there's like being able to read it. So when you give it to her, she looks at it and, and you can see her like working through this stuff.
I can't cast Comprehend Languages on her to let her read it.
Yeah.
It's a self-spell.
Self-spell, yeah.
So I didn't.
Now, what's interesting is you suggest the course of action. He doesn't say whether that's like she's going to spend the next 8 hours thinking about this. Like that's all she's going to be able to do aside from like, and you're kind of leading her around in this like semi-comatose state because that's what she's just like she can't think about anything else. If you're like, what do you want for dinner? She'd be like, Thavius Krieg, demon. But why? Like she's literally got the cloud of thoughts just floating around her head. So she's kind of like disoriented.
That's a bad call.
Yeah. So if you're like, okay, come on, like she can still move around and stuff. She's not comatose, but she's like absorbed for the next 8 hours in like consulting her own sense of like right and wrong and thinking about it. And it's, I mean, if she is the person she claims to be, there's only one way she can come out of this, right? Like, if she is a person who cares about being good and about the law and about doing the right thing, there's only one conclusion left, right? Now, if you cast the same spell on somebody who is like neutral evil or like lawful evil or something, they would get to the end. They'd be like, I understand the facts, but I'm making a decision based on my alignment. I'm going to ignore them for my own benefit or whatever. But you want her to understand these facts because the right thing to do is to like fix it. And so in 8 hours, she will come to the conclusion that Thavius Krieg was indeed an evil dude and that her own biases have been like blinding her to that. And that the only right thing to do, and this is a decision she'll make on her own because you didn't suggest come to hell with us and save Elturel, but she'll come around. She'll be like, the only way I can serve Elturel is
right. Cool.
By saving it, by going with you. So
Right.
do you, does somebody get her sword? She forgets that it exists while she's like locked
yeah,
into...
Bryn
Yeah.
packs up all of her stuff and carries it along with her own. Like she's gonna be her pack mule until she snaps out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that griffins were gonna be our pack mules.
That's the real hope.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that both Sathra and Rhea are distracted because of this process, right? Because Sathra, it only lasts as long as you can focus on it.
I have to concentrate.
So the two of you weirdly both kind of get like quiet and like focused for the next 8 hours, or as long as you're willing to concentrate on the spell. But you can see her working. She's working herself over. She's using her own powers of reasoning to come to a lawful good conclusion about this that is avoiding her own biases, which is really great. It's the most ethical use of this spell ever.
If only we'd had Sathra and a really big like projector for like elections and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Actually think about facts, please, people.
Yeah, right. You need like
Yeah,
a
right.
mass suggestion and then some way to broadcast it to a lot of people. Yeah. I'm not asking you to do anything specific. Just read some things and just like
Stop
think about it like a
being
person.
racist for a while.
Yeah.
If you could.
So yeah, she's in a bit of a trance in the background of this sort of next scenes. But I was gonna say if there's anything else you need to do in Candlekeep, but it's kind of too late now.
Nothing.
You've
They
hacked the
hate
man's
us.
head off.
It's time to
It's
time
a
to
go.
city
go.
full of
I'm upset
nerds.
with you
Bryn
about
needs to leave.
Yeah.
I had so many spell books to purchase and you fucked it all up. But
Yeah.
we'll come back.
well, maybe at the other place we can buy stuff. Where are we going?
Just buy some spell books and
We're gonna go see the wizard Traxagor at his tower.
So
Yeah,
this
take
is
a
a
spell.
good point that chat reminded me of, Dave. The thing is that secret lizard people controlling the government, that's already a thing. So like it's already happening.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oof.
So Sathra is one of the reptilian overlords, and this is why nobody trusts the UNT. But this is literally like this is a thing that your people are good at, right, Sathra? Of just finding people and being like, we're gonna just bend your weak brain to do what we say.
That's like the UNT thing.
Perfect. Yeah. So you are ushered by Silvira to a crescent-shaped landing platform with a beautiful view of the sea. Waiting for you atop this platform are several noble griffins mounted with saddles, handlers standing nearby to help you. And Silvira says when you arrive, the griffins have instructions to fly you to Traxagor's tower. I presume you're ready? I heard you got yourself into a little bit of trouble.
Nothing we couldn't handle.
Of course. And, well, nothing compared to what I imagine you're about to face. You're very brave, a lot of you. Well,
Can I
good
take
luck.
some spell books for the road, please. I wanted to go to the library.
Sylvia's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Look, come on.
Traxagor might have some spells you could... you really should be going, though. Yep. Okay. So you're gonna get on the griffins, and they take flight and head out. They head out to sea. So they fly just below the clouds, and as Candlekeep's majestic walls fall into the distance behind you, it grows smaller and smaller as the griffins soar westward. Large rocky islands pass below you, and beyond them, the open sea. After a long journey, you see a windowless, doorless stone tower, which somehow floats in the sky ahead. The griffins pass through jagged holes riddling the tower's conical peak to land on the top floor below, which has a spiral staircase leading down.
So it's just a floating tower?
Yeah, it's
In
like a
the
magic.
ocean?
It's a magic tower floating
Oh my
above
God,
the ocean.
It's a magical arcane tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you get
This
out there.
place is stupid. Why would you waste all the time making a tower levitate? So it's where we're actually super jealous. It's a cool floating tower.
Stupid floating tower.
Is
Yeah,
it floating
I mean,
in the
these
ocean?
used to-
or-
These used to be, floating over the ocean. These used to be all the rage, like
Yeah,
thousands of years ago.
in
Netheril.
freaking Netheril, yeah.
Mhm. Entire cities just floating around all over the place.
Goddamn Netherese and their level 11 spells.
Stupid, sexy Netherese. Yeah. So that's it. There's nobody up here to meet you. There's just the flat surface of the tower's floor, and the griffins all kind of get out and look around, waiting for you to dismount.
Did Sylvira tell whomever lives here that we were coming to go to hell, or
Dude.
No, I think she's a wizard, not a cleric. It's a nerd thing. Let's just go and talk to him.
Yeah. So before you do, Sathra, and I think the journey was long enough that the spell started to wear off as you were arriving. Sathra, Rhea says to the group of you, "You three go on ahead. I need to talk to Sathra for a minute."
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm.
Good luck. Walks downstairs.
You just leave. Okay.
That's fine. I can handle this.
Okay, well,
That's
don't
Sathri's for I can take her.
Yeah, I think
If
Bryn's like,
she's mad enough to violence me, I will violence her back harder.
die. Please
And
don't
if you
kill
lose,
each other.
she becomes the new PC. Win-win for the group.
I don't think
two
Elf wants to
battle
play
two
Rhea.
battle babes enter, one battle babe leaves.
Okay. Well, don't.
Go,
Okay,
and
bye.
go and introduce yourselves to this wizard or whatever.
Right.
Secure our portal to hell.
Please don't kill Rhea. Okay, bye.
I don't plan to.
So the three of you, do you leave? You leave Brandon, or you
Yeah.
leave Sathra and Rhea? Okay. All right. So you go downstairs, and Rhea looks at you, and she scowls, and she says, "So normally, I suppose this would be the part where I shout at you for twisting my mind, that I call you a damned snake, a servant of shadows, but I don't feel any of that. I mean, what you did was wrong. You can't just go around cutting people's heads off, even if they have made infernal deals and damned entire cities. There's laws. Justice isn't about just going around beheading people because you want to. That's not how it works." My God, I feel like she's channeling the fucking Eddie Furlong from Terminator 2. You can't just go around shooting people. So she says, "I understand why you did what you did, and if you'd let Krieg go, he would have just caused more problems. So sometimes we have to do things because they're right, not because they're what the law says. So fine. I'm not mad at you about that. And I'm not really mad at you about twisting my mind either, because you made me think about things in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. I'm stubborn. I get that."
If it makes you feel any better. The rest wanted to give you the time you needed, but we didn't have it.
There wouldn't have been long enough. So, I don't know. I'm not thanking you, but I don't think you need to be punished or whatever either.
Well, I mean, there are many other reasons that you could decide to punish me at any given time, oh good and righteous one. But, yes, I was helpful to you this time. I'm not your friend here. I don't like you. In fact, I'd rather you fell off this tower. But the others, they seem to think you're all right. At least November does. I don't know about Brandon Sosarova. So you help redeem your people and save them from hell. maybe you get something back for having helped such an evil creature survive for as long as you did.
She kind of stares at you and she says, all right, but unless they're demons or devils or vampires or clearly obviously trying to kill us, no more just beheading people. All right?
I don't think you understand. It's just the easiest way.
I know you think that the whole world is just a bunch of shadows with people waiting with knives to stab you in the back, but Davies Creek notwithstanding, I think you can trust people. You have to, because if not, then what's the point of any of it?
Again, you're misunderstanding. It's not that I particularly enjoy slicing off the heads of my enemies.
Do you want to make a deception check there? Or?
No.
I don't like chopping people's heads.
It's just that it is quickest and easiest. If the solution is quickest and easiest to hypnotize you and bring you along, then here we are. I didn't cut your head off.
I guess I'm learning that in the end, everybody gets what they deserve. Keep that in mind.
So I've heard. Now, shall we? Our portal to the realm of the damned.
Yeah.
awaits.
She just snorts like, keep my eye on you. Like it's a she's obviously having complicated feelings, right? Because she's mad, but she respects that you got results and that she did have a weakness that you helped her get around. But also like,
Yeah, and I think maybe I went about it an indirect way, but Sathra's like, I don't care if you want to punish me or not. Like, you mean nothing to me at all. And what you think of me is irrelevant, and this whole conversation is irrelevant, and you're wasting my time and efficiency.
Right?
I'm pretty sure this is the start of an anime, and you two are gonna fall in love now.
It's
I
that
don't
scene.
make the rules.
It's a scene from Mad Men where they're in the elevator, and the guy is like, "I think you're a terrible person," and Don is like, "I don't think about you at all."
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's how it goes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So meanwhile, the rest of you're gonna go down the stairs. So you descend the stairs, and one level down and through a door, you enter a cluttered chamber illuminated by various objects upon which continual flame spells have been cast. Scurrying around the room is an otter dressed in a tiny red cassock.
Oh my god, I love it.
So you just see it like skittering around the room, scurrying around, looking at things.
I think Nulf immediately goes to chase after it.
When it hears, yeah, okay. All right, so there's a like loud bark, and the dog chases after the otter, and the otter runs away, and the two of them like run around the room, knocking stuff over until eventually, eventually the otter
not chase the wizard.
The
Please,
otter climbs up onto a shelf, and Nulf is like barking at the otter, and the otter looks up and sees the group of you and says in common, "Get this thing away from me!"
Nulf, down, come. You're a good dog. Come here, little one.
So Nulf comes back, and the otter like rubs his little hands together, like, "I thought I was going to die, and you must be Silvera's friends."
Sorry about that. He's just over eager.
And he says, "Well, Lulu, dear, wake up! Our guests have arrived." And at the sound of her name, a tiny elephant with golden fur appears from under a pile of blankets near a table strewn with alchemical equipment. The elephant takes to the air on feathery wings and lets out a pleasing trumpet sound.
What are you?
So let me show you. There's Lulu.
Oh my god! It's a heffalump.
Yeah, so you hear a like, and then the little wings start flapping, and this tiny gold elephant just like whoop whoop, like flutters up out of the this pile of blankets.
Is it a heffalump or a woozle?
And starts to flutter towards you. And I think we'll take our break there at the introduction of our new friend Lulu, and we can get better acquainted when we come back. So don't go anywhere. Lots more Descent into Avernus when we return.